Disassembling the A&K SR25K. So with this gun, all you'll really need to disassemble it is a screwdriver, Allen key, and that's just about it. You'll also, because the Allen key, if you have a whole bunch of different sizes, that's all you'll need. So first step, it comes apart basically the same as an M4. So if you've taken apart an M4, it comes apart the exact same. The only difference might be the screw back here. Some M4s don't have the screw that goes into the gearbox. Otherwise, it's the exact same. So if you know how to disassemble an M4, you can disassemble this. So your first step is going to be take out this front pin, and you're going to want to try and put a little bit of pressure on the upper two pieces here and hold them together. Make that screw easier to pop out. So let's do that. It only takes that one screw and you can get both of them apart. Then you'll have access to the hop-up unit here. This you can just pull out. I'm not going to because you can see a bit of the Teflon tape I have there that's wrapped around the barrel. So if I pull this out, it's going to tear all that and I'll have to reapply it, but that's just the hop-up barrel and unit. Only thing you have to worry about right here is this piece, because as you can see that can get out of position really easily. And then this little metal plate pops out. But it's very easy to put it back in. So to put the plate back in, you'll want to pull this back, and you'll see that little piece that sticks out. You kind of want to put it right between these two pieces. So kind of set it in there. You'll pull it back, and then just get it right between it. So it should have a little bit of movement. So then once you do that, it should work as normal. Barrel on there, or the silencer. So take apart the lower receiver and get to the gearbox. You'll need to take off the grip here. So you'll take out those two screws, take out the motor, and take out those two screws. You need to take out this pin right here. You'll need to undo this right here, which is the mag release, and this screw back here. See if we can get that screw right down there. Alright, so let's try that. So the first thing we'll do is take off the grip. So like I said, you'll want to take off these two screws, but be careful because these screws are pretty cheap and weak. So as you loosen them, you want to keep pressure on this to keep this piece from moving up until you have both of them all the way out. So keeping pressure, loosen them. The back screw will be longer than the front screw. So when you put it back together, this back screw is going to be the longer one. Got one. Keeping pressure, remove the front one, which I just threw. And then, as you can see, mine doesn't move. So if it doesn't move, you can use a screwdriver and just put a little bit of pressure, and you can pop that off. And then you have the motor. Alright, so with the back off, you have access to the motor. Yours will look a little bit different. Yours won't have these ugly solders on it, which mine has. So to get the, if I can get this to balance, I will just put it like that. So to remove these, you want to take, if you have a small flathead screwdriver or even an Allen key, you just want to go as close to this front piece right here as you can, and just gently put a little bit of pressure, and they should pop right off. You want to try not to pull from way back here because it's going to put pressure up here. These are very cheap and they're easy to break. So you want to try and hook them very close. And they should come off relatively easily. There's a little bit of pressure. And you can pull them off. After that, you can gently pull out the motor. Make sure you got the spring on there too. Set that off to the side. And now you'll want to get those 2 screws down there. And you want to be careful. I recommend holding the gun either at a slant like this or completely up. This way, when you're unscrewing those, you don't have any risk of those falling into the gearbox. You can see the gears right there. So it's very easy to drop into the gearbox. They shouldn't just come out, but... So now we'll take out those 2 screws. Could use a little bit more light, but oh well. Okay, once you have those screws loose, very carefully try and get this out. So you want to pop it off there and slowly pull it down. And once you get to your connectors, be very careful not to, you want to try and avoid bending them or just really damaging them at all. Because like I said, they're very cheap. If you break them, you have to buy new ones, which I'm not sure if they sell them or not. They should, but they're a pain in the butt, because then you gotta resolder them on. So just be very careful when you're pulling them out of these holes here. So that center hole is where the motor goes. The 2 side holes are where the wires, and the 2 smaller ones are where the screws are. So that's what just popped out, both of those screws. So these are the ones that will hold the grip to the gearbox. So we'll put that with the rest of the screws. Next we'll take out this screw here. This is the same kind of pin that holds the front of the gun on. The difference is, you see this has threads on it. They're supposed to have this piece, but I lost it on the other one, but this is the one that it's important to have it on. The front one is held in by the pressure of the spring that pushes the upper and lower receivers apart. This one has no pressure holding it holding it in place. So this one can easily fall in and out. So you want to make sure you don't lose this screw here. So with that, you'll need to take it off with an Allen key and a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver on the other side. See if this is the right size. No, that's too big. You might be able to get away with just jamming a regular size screwdriver into this to try and hold it in place if it's loose enough. But it might not work. It didn't work when I tried it last time. That's not our size either. It should be the standard size that comes. I think it's maybe 6mm. That's just my guess. Alright, so I think that size will work. So once you've gotten it loose, you can just spin it off. And this is why you need this screw, because this one sometimes it doesn't have pressure. Right now it seems like it actually does have a little bit of pressure holding it in place. So then you can just use something to push it out from this side. And then you got that screw out. And you can screw the bottom part right back into it to avoid losing those. And then the only thing left is this mag release and this little pin right here. So the mag release is pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is loosen this regular screwdriver head all the way. can see it's got the screw right in the middle of it. If I can get the camera to focus in on it. Hopefully, maybe not. So be careful not to lose that screw. Next you can pull out the pin, the spring, and if you pick the gun up, you'll get the opposite side release. So those three you can put back together and keep them to the side to avoid losing them. And the only thing you have left to do is to pop out this pin. And on this one, and for all A&K SR25Ks, it should be the same, I would hope. The left side with the actual switch is the side you want to knock it out from. So to do that, I would recommend an actual Allen key rather than like a set like this, because you can hit it on the other side. You can hit like the back of it. But basically you just need to take something small that will fit right in there, and like in this case I would hold it like this and hit it right there with a hammer or something, because this pin is pressure fitted in and you'll need to knock it out, and it takes a lot of effort to get that out, which is why I'm not going to take it out right now, because they're a real pain to get in and out. Because as you can see right here, this is me trying to knock it back in, and I didn't get it all the way in because I didn't want to bother, because I'm going to have to take the gun apart again eventually. But you can see those edges right there that are what helps hold it in place. So once you get that pin out, it should come apart very easily. All you need to do is angle this forward and pull it out. So that's the disassembly. And the reassembly, you just do everything. Oh, hold on. Lastly, we've got this screwed back here. So for that, you're going to need the long screwdriver. So you just put it back there, loosen it out, and you can pull it out. So the last thing you'll need to do is take out that screw at the back. So you'll need a long screwdriver, preferably small, with the small bit. Like this one is good lengthwise, but this bit makes it hard to actually grip on and get it out. So this screwdriver works very well for me. The only problem is it's a bit short, so it goes into about there. But this size bit on the front is about what works well. Now let's see if I can zoom in so I can show you the inside a little bit better. So with that, there's going to be a little washer in front of that big silver piece. And you can see the wires going under the bottom of the silver piece right there. So when you take it out, you want to take the screw out and then just kind of gently shake it, and that piece should fall out. And then you can slide the entire back off. And when you're putting it back together, you want to be careful to make sure that silver piece, all the wires stay below it. And generally, you want that silver piece, the piece that's cut out right there on the bottom, you want that to be completely level across the bottom. If it's a little to the side, it's okay, but if it's all the way at the top, it kind of messes up your wires, and you might not be able to actually put it back on that way. So that can be a little bit difficult. So I would have the stock completely off, get the screw all the way through to the front, then align it, and then start putting the screw through, rather than putting it on like this and then trying to work the screw through there. So that's basically how you would take the gun apart. So reassembly, you do the same thing for that, and then you just have to be careful when you feed these wires through here. And I would recommend putting the 2 screws for this piece, these ones, I'd recommend putting them in their spots and then holding the whole gun like this when you slide it in, because actually putting the screws in can be very difficult. So this way you already have them in these slots, and then you just need to line them up and screw them in. Alright, also when you're reassembling, you want to be careful, and once the wires are through here, you want to pull them through, because otherwise they can get caught right here between the grip and the lower receiver. So once you get it started here, you want to grab both of them on the wire rather than the motor connectors, that might be the right word. You would want to keep a little bit of pressure and pull up a little bit on them as you slide it down. And you won't be able to see that, but right there, the red wire is actually getting caught. So I need to try and pull it through here. And once I get that, I hold it straight. And an easy way to tell if your wires are caught, if you have a gap here at all, you should have no gap. If there's a gap there, then it's probably that your wires are caught. So another thing, this motor should be able to move freely once you put it in. So as you can see right now, I can't move it up and down, which means that it's not going to work in the gun unless that spring can work. So you need to keep popping it in and out, making sure those wires are out of the way until you can get it situated.